Hey you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Welcome back. So in today's video, I have a quick 6x8 scrapbooking layout to share with you guys, and I'm using Allie's May Stories by the Month digital kit. And I have really loved playing with these digital kits every month to do something different with them. So I've tried to play a little bit more with the kit instead of just doing a project life spread. I kind of like using these kits to work on a scrapbook page and just to stretch the supplies in different ways than what they were intended. I think that that's what's so fun about playing with digital supplies is you can change colors, you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. So that's why I chose to do a layout here. And whenever I'm doing a layout like this that is primarily using digital products that then I want to make physical, I always lay it out in Photoshop first. So I put together this layout in Photoshop. So I knew exactly what it was going to look like when I started. And that way, then I can just go ahead and individually print out everything, like the big 6x8 card that says the story of life right now. I just printed that separate from all of the pattern papers. And you can see that the pattern papers were exactly the size that I wanted them to be. And that's because I'd already laid it out. So it makes it really easy opposed to, printing everything on a separate piece of paper and then having to cut it down to size and having to try and get the exact size, because sometimes it's hard to translate that from your screen. So I just like creating it and then printing it out. And the reason why I don't just create it and have a digital scrapbook is because I actually love putting it together. I love cutting everything up and having something tactile and physical. And so that's why I choose to do traditional scrapbooking opposed to the digital scrapbooking. But I do love the hybrid approach because there are so many awesome supplies that are digital. There's a lot of great designers out there. So it's fun to be able to play around with that stuff. And like I mentioned earlier, there's so many things that you can do digitally. So one thing that I did with some of the elements in this kit, other than, changing the size, you can see that I'm cutting out some of these circle chipboard. I definitely made them a little bit smaller to go with this 6x8 size. But one thing that I did is I manipulated the patterns on some of the cards in order to print them out. So if you look at the cards, they have these great patterns on them, but they have writing on top. And so it makes it, so I wasn't able to print it's close to 1 inch by I think 3 3/4 of an inch. So I kind of needed to manipulate and copy and paste certain areas of that pattern paper in order for me to get more of a pattern. So I know that's probably hard to explain, but if you guys are interested in seeing how I do that, just let me know and I can show you more how to stretch those pattern papers if you would like. All right, so the one thing that I'm working on right now is I needed to find a place to add my journaling. And I was thinking, well, I could just add it onto one, instead of a pattern paper, I could do the journaling, but I kind of wanted it to be hidden. And so I decided to put it behind one of those rectangles. So you can see that I don't think it mattered. I decided in the end it did not matter where I ended up using the X-Acto to create the cut, and just as long as it was somewhere in the middle. And you could actually see, if you could tell, that the cut was not even straight. It was kind of crooked, and that doesn't matter either. You're not going to be able to see it. You just need to be able to make it long enough so that that card will fit in. So that's the card that came in the kit, and it is a 3x4 size. So I just kept the same size and just went ahead and wrote my journaling and printed that out. So I wanted to be able to, when that card is on the inside, I wanted to be able to make sure that the circle element overlapped. So I was trying to determine how I was going to actually adhere the circle embellishment onto the card, and I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to do that. It's like in my head, I knew that that's what I wanted to do, but now all of a sudden, as I'm executing it, I was like, wait, am I going to be able to figure this out? So what I did is I ended up just grabbing the staple and stapling it towards the top. And that way there's no adhesive so that it's able to go over the top of that rectangle, if that makes sense. Obviously, you can see the whole circle. And I really love the way that looked. And there was only just a little bit on the top, so you can kind of hide it enough so it looks like, you know, it's right there in the gutter between the rectangles. So love how that ended up turning out. Makes me really happy, those colors. I love the rainbow. Rainbows are everywhere right now. Have you guys noticed that rainbows are everywhere right now? I am just in love with it. So I hope they continue to go with it. I had plans and ideas to do something else with that rainbow. I think it's a card actually. And I thought it would be really fun to make it large. So we'll see if I can actually make that happen. And then one last thing before I'm 100% finished is just to add on the date. And I did that with some light gray ink from Studio Calico. Oh, one other thing I will mention with this spread is I was considering, after when I took the pictures, I was like, you know what, this would be really cute to have some stitches that went on the sides and on the bottoms of those rectangles. So I might actually go back and put some stitches in there. So anyway, you guys, that is it for this spread. Like I said, if you want to know more about how I actually put it together on the computer, just let me know and I can hook you guys up. Again, you guys, thank you so much for being here. It really does mean a lot. If you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe if you have not, and ring that bell so that you're able to get notifications when I upload. Thanks so much, you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.